I wasn't leaving yet. I had a hunch there was more to find. For a room full of junk, that was one very sophisticated lock system. This place was definitely fishy, in more ways than one. Oops. I'd wrecked the skiff. Not that it was particularly seaworthy anyway. Moving a skiff would only damage it more. I really didn't want to pull the fence back up and risk trapping myself in this place. An old shell case. I wondered what that was doing there. The brass case was smooth and perfectly round. A safe key. Rolling out the painted cylinder, it read. The cloth was cut. I hoped that I hadn't ruined it for nothing. The words Sinister and Dexter were carved on either side. Now any good convent girl like me knows the old Roman for left, right, left, right. But what did it mean here? Nothing happened. Nothing happened. No handle, nothing obvious. But there had to be a way to open it. The hole was too small even for my little hand. Mystery solved. Carchon's stone cylinder slotted into the hole with a satisfying click. A satisfying click told me I turned it to the right position. It felt like tumblers in a safe. Another click, another step closer. I made a mistake, the lock reset. A satisfying... Another... Oh no! Another... Oh no! I had... A Another click. Oh no! Another click. Oh no! And I love the sound of locks clicking open. Oh my God! The slab came down with a hell of a force. With nothing to hold it up, the cross dropped back down again. The panel wouldn't move. Lifting the cross closed. If I was going to get a closer look at the panel, ut lex vel ut next sumito. To the law or unto death submit. I guess these people didn't believe in liberté, égalité or fraternité. Yes, I'll admit it. I was a swot at school. I also wore lipstick and the nuns never knew. I removed the stone cylinder. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. The cross looked familiar. I'd seen it before. The stone cross was propped up. Now I was getting somewhere. I touched the slot. Nothing bad happened, which was good. I've always been attached to my fingers. This slot was designed for something specific. But what? Shame. The shell case was too wide. I took the stone. No way would I be able to force the door open. A door made out of stone. They normally are. A round slot precisely carved into the stonework. No. No. No way would I be able to force the door open. The cross didn't need to be propped up. The cylinder was doing a fine job of propping up the cross. No. 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 I took the stone cylinder. No. Moving a skiff would... I'd already unlocked the door. I'd already unlocked... I wasn't leaving yet. I wasn't leaving yet. The panel wouldn't move. No. 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 The cross didn't need to be propped up. I took the... The artifact slotted into the hole perfectly. Behind the old walls, I could hear some kind of mechanism groaning into life, but whatever had been triggered had now jammed. I removed the shell case. The slab was too heavy for me to lift. The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open. I was going to need something a lot stronger than a hair clip to free the door. No. I removed the cross didn't drop back down. Some kind of mechanism was holding it up. The gap was too narrow. I needed something flatter to work into it. No. No. The cross didn't drop back. The cross was firmly propped up. The panel wouldn't move. I removed. The gap was. I needed some. The gap was too narrow. I needed something flatter to work into it. No. The gap was too thin for me to get a grip. I needed something thin enough to prise the door open. A hidden door. This was getting interesting. Shame the mechanism jammed. I was going to have to find a way to prise it open. The stone slab had flattened one end of the shell case. The shell case had been flattened at one end, forming a serrated edge. and removed the Another good use for a shell case. Another secret room. Somebody had something to hide. But was it what I was looking for? Wow! Through the darkness, I could see that this was a stateroom. But for what purpose? And how did it tie in with Carchon? Amazing! The thing still worked. The room lit up bright as day. I wasn't going to find anything in this old desk. It hadn't been used for years. The flags had faded, but their message was still pretty clear. Fascist regalia, a message of hate. The flags had fascist regalia, a message of hate. Inside the drawer, I found a note written in some kind of code. Damn, don't you just hate it when that happens? The drawer had come out easily enough. A photo, long lost, had fallen down the back of the drawer. It was very old, but there was no mistaking the guy in the foreground. Carchon. Behind him were soldiers, a burning village and a corpse. The photograph was cropped on the right-hand side. Somebody else in the picture obviously didn't want to be in it anymore. I wasn't surprised. This was Africa in the 60s. An uprising was being brutally suppressed. And here was Mr. Media himself, Carchon, doing the suppressing. The photograph was not just powerful evidence. It was also my ticket to one explosive story. But there had to be more for me to discover. There was nothing else in the drawer. The photograph showed Carchon smiling happily to camera, with a background of burning huts and death. It was pretty clear from the lack of dust that someone had been working very recently at this desk. Oh my God! The sheet was a printout with my personal information. Everything from my favorite food to my waist size. They were right about chocolate, but come on guys, I'm a size 10. There was even a picture of me, taken with a telephoto lens. Carchon wouldn't have taken these pictures himself. This was big and organized. I was part of it, and people were getting murdered. This was the article I'd written about the costume killer. My suspicions were right. Carchon had cut it out. 2 businessmen had been killed. One in Italy, one in Japan. In each case, the killer had worn a costume, a penguin, and then a snowman. But that wasn't the only link between the 2 murders. Both the victims had been big media do-gooders, and I proved they were just the opposite. So, how did they fit in with Carchon? The dregs at the bottom of the mug hadn't dried out or gone moldy. It wasn't more than a day old. The drawer had come out easily enough, but wouldn't... There was nothing else in the... The flags had faded, but their message... Fascist regalia. A door like that always has something important behind it. I had to find a way to unlock it. That wasn't going to help. Turning the lights off wasn't going to help. That was more sensible. and removed the